little bit about from Psalms 119. Grandpa Renner, he marked lots in Psalm 119. So Psalm 119 starts, blessed are the undefiled in the way, you see, who walk in the law of the Lord. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies, and they that seek him with the whole heart. They also do no iniquity. They walk in his ways. You see, his ways, God's ways. The way, the truth, the word. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments. I will praise thee with uprightness of heart when I shall have learned thy righteous judgments. So how do we learn his righteous judgments? We keep reading his word. Keep reading his word. I will keep thy statutes. Oh, forsake me not utterly. In verse 9, Psalms 119:9, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. Taking heed thereto. A young man, start reading the scriptures. With my whole heart have I sought thee. Oh, that me not wander from thy commandments. Thy word have I hid in my heart. Verse 11, listen carefully. Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. We're to take God's words, his pure, perfect words in the King James Bible in the English language, and hide them in our hearts. And hide them in our hearts so we're ready. When someone asks us a question or something, we're ready to give the right answer. Blessed art thou, O Lord, teach me thy statutes. With my lips have I declared all the judgments of thy mouth. I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimonies. See, with my lips I have declared all the judgments of thy mouth. See, the Lord spoke all these words in this book, as which I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimonies as much as in all riches. So we're supposed to enjoy and love this book just as much as if we had a pile of gold and silver. This is more precious even than gold and silver. So verse 15, I will meditate in thy precepts. I have respect unto thy ways. I will delight myself in thy statutes. I will not forget thy word. Now I noticed that Grandpa Renner, you see, he underlined especially verse 10. I sought thee, O LCT. Me, it's a small Bible, and the letters are cut off here. Me not to wander from thy commandments. Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. See, Grandpa Renner underlined all that stuff. So if we go, we're going to zip over to verse 35. Verse 35. 35 will be 35. Make me, Psalm 119:35. Make me to go in the path of thy commandments, for therein I delight. So we're to take delight in his commandments, and all the words he put in this book, we're to take delight in that. You see? And then verse 42. So shall I have wherewith to answer him that reproacheth me. For I trust in thy word. We're to trust in this book completely. Hide the words in our heart. So someone reproaches us, we're to give them an answer immediately. They want to say, oh, that's not the word of God. We tell them. Even go back to Psalms. The words of the Lord are pure words. As silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times. Oh, keep them, O Lord. Oh, preserve them from this generation forever. And then verse 46, I will speak of thy testimonies also before kings, and will not be ashamed. So even if the president comes to criticize you, a president of a country or someone very big, you know, kings, you know, presidents of different companies, doesn't matter who it is. Don't be ashamed of God's word. Don't be ashamed. Give them to him. Give them to him. You never know where it's going to lead. So we're going to zip over to 67. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now have I kept thy word. So at one time we didn't believe, oh, these are the pure words of God in the King James Bible. Are you kidding me? I used to say it one time. We didn't believe all that, you know, like any Bible version would mean the same thing to us. But it says right here, 67, before I was afflicted, I went astray. I wasn't in the way, I went astray. But now I have kept thy word. And of course, 68, thou art good and doest good. Teach me thy statutes. So how is God going to teach you his statutes if you don't read his book? You've got to get yourself King James Bible in English, Statenvertaling in Dutch. The proud have forged a lie against me, but I will keep thy precepts with my whole heart. Their heart is as fat as grease, but I delight in thy law. So let them be fat with grease. Some of these men are turning into real sluggards and they're just fattening up, you know, fattening up in the Word of God. So let's go over to verse 128. I'm just gonna go through Psalm 128. And therefore I esteem all thy precepts concerning all things to be right, and I hate every false way. So if this is the way, Jesus is the truth, the way, the life. This is the way. He hates every false way. That's false Bible. He's talking about false Bibles, false words here. And there's got to be 200 different versions of false Bibles now. And we're to stay away from all that. So verse 130, the entrance of thy words giveth light. It giveth understanding unto the simple. So you see, even the simplest man, that means we don't have to get a university education to be wise. We just have to have his words. So even the simplest man, you know, uneducated man, can keep all his statutes. See? The entrance of thy words giveth light. It giveth understanding unto the simple. So remember that. And then we're going to zip over to verse 140. In 140, thy word is very pure, therefore thy servant loveth it. If you're serving the Lord, you're going to read his words. And his words are very pure. And it tells us that right here. And in verse 169, let my cry come near before thee, O Lord. Give me understanding according to thy word. So you don't go to university, you don't go to Bible college, you read his word. And that's how we get the
And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it. And death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged, every man according to their works. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.